Hello there, my friends. We have Mozart watching over us today, and I'm so fashionable now that I don't even need flowers in my vase, but I'm surrounded here by lots of things that I've created, and you'll see, I'm just going to angle the camera up, that this is one third of a triptych that I've done many years ago called Spirit of the Dance, and then we have, it's probably racist now, I don't know. Everything's racist, isn't it? But we have Mexican spirit warriors, the yellow square there. And then we have a photograph that I took in the late 1990s up in Montmartre in Paris. So I'm surrounded by things that I love, that mean a lot to me. They have substance. That's what today's video is about. Now, when I say there has to be a there, what do I mean by that? Well, as you will have gathered from watching my videos, or if you're new, what you will discover is that I am a highly reflective person, and I have a highly developed cognitive process, some may say, that I'm always analysing things, reflecting on things, and frankly to make sure that I'm living as presently as possible. But I have been known on more than one occasion to perhaps overdo it and keep constantly churning things over and over and over again. But last night, the phrase for this video, there has to be a there, lots of theirs, because I like to be there wherever I am, came to me last night as I was reflecting again on the ending, the demise of my relationship with my ex-boyfriend, and I felt quite upset, and once I'd had a bit of a cry, I actually fell asleep, and I had a very strange dream instructing people about towels, which towel to use for which occasion, and it's all of it is spring cleaning for me. And in the dream, when I was explaining, I was encountering, as I have done in my life, quite a lot of resistance and questioning. It's like, well, no, this is just the way that it is. Just please use them in this particular way. It's all about self-empowerment, it's all about basically asking for what it is that I want and being respected in that, as I have respected other people. But the thing with me and my ex is I've often struggled to find the right word for what he and I had, because I've always struggled with calling it a relationship because didn't relate to each other at all. I'm actually just going to bring this a little bit closer so you can see my beautiful face a bit more clearly. My mighty beard. I had a little trim. Do you like it? That there were so many things that I have always wanted out of a proper relationship that just weren't there. They weren't present. And in fact, they were actively withheld. So I've started out from an early point realizing that, okay, I'm not going to be allowed over to his flat, which was the case. And he made that clear from the start, and I thought, right, okay, it's going to be a bit awkward. In the beginning, he did come over to my place, and then that dwindled as time went on. So it was very nomadic and uncomfortable. There was no kissing, basically no affection. And he had a weird thing about he didn't want to be touched on his face. And I could only guess that by how much he didn't like it being done, that there was some abuse there. I don't know. I think it was something quite serious. I wasn't around, fortunately, long enough to find out. But it was all walls, and no real openness, no chance of a discussion. So there was no substance. It was quite stylish, We were an attractive couple, and we went around doing things together, so quite active. But the intimate parts of the relationship that I think anybody would really want, and that I certainly wanted, just weren't there. So ultimately, it came to an end because there was no synergy. But the reason in the thumbnail for this video is saying do things for the right reasons is chiefly because you've got to be living by your own principles, your own values. And I think a huge part of that is being, it's quite an old-fashioned term now really, but being virtuous. Are you doing things for the right reasons, or are you sort of engaging in avoidant behaviour? Are you trying to keep that person happy totally, as I have done, at my own expense? And I think a lot of people do this in relationships because there is a sort of terror about being on our own. And frankly, I don't know if being gay makes it that much worse. I mean, listening to gay and straight people, it doesn't really seem to make much difference. Emotional intimacy and sort of companionship are quite lacking, and there are quite materialistic reasons why people might be drawn to each other, surface sort of base instincts, but not really any sort of collegiate sense of a relationship where you can discuss things and where you can be open and honest and, let's say it, vulnerable with people without the other person holding it against you or sort of storing up points so that they can have a bit of a dig at a later point. And I have often described my experience in my relationship with this chap as death by 1,000 cuts, because there was nothing kind of majorly overt. There was just a lot of snipes and jabs and prods and pokes all over the place, and sort of constant but subtle, very subtle belittling. And throughout, I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I don't belong here. And I'm really coming to terms with the fact that where I am now is absolutely, definitely where I belong. But it's taken quite a long time to get there. It's taken a long time to really feel like I'm in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. Mozart agrees with me that this is a lovely space with lots of room and the countryside. It's definitely heartwarming and satisfying my actual soul, rather than being in a place where I'm sort of making the best of it. And definitely in the spot that I need to be to go into the next stage of my life. So being as present as possible, being as conscious of, are the conditions that I'm in, are they actually working for me? Are they satisfying? Are they uplifting? Do you feel like you are involved? Are you invested in what you're doing? And the thing is, when I lived in the house that we had in this same village, I went to Euro Disney. I think it's called Disneyland Paris now, but we call it Euro Disney. I went there with a couple of friends of mine from school. And in the gift shop, there was a smaller version of this bust of Mozart. And I bought it at the time. And I think as my tastes changed and whatever, when I was in London, I actually parted ways with it. And because I often had lots of clear outs and things. But when I got back up here, it felt right that this was where I had originally been when I had this ornament and I really liked it. I think I went on to, it might have been Amazon, it might have been eBay, I can't remember, but I found it and I was really pleased because when it actually arrived, this version is bigger and it's sort of, back then, you know, child, teenager, but here, adult, larger version. And it's all the stuff that I love. And I implore you to really look back on the handful of things, those things that really brought you joy, to surround yourself as much as you possibly can with those things. And they don't have to be really grandiose. They don't have to be over the top things, just really nice things that when you look at them, you think, oh, I really like that. And that is reminiscent of a happy memory for me. And also because I play the piano, it's also a reminder that, oh, well, the thing is, Martin, you love playing the piano. So on a daily basis, do a little bit of that and invest in all of the things that really make you feel like you and uniquely you, the things that you've invested a lot of time and energy and love into. The more that you can do that, I definitely think that helps to put things in their place, that your life is full of things that make you feel good about yourself and remind you to treat yourself properly. And as much as you can, clear out those things that you're sort of umming and ahhing over, because what you want in life is to have as much space as you possibly can to get the stuff done that you need to get done. That takes up a little bit more of your mental process, and that, as I said the other day, that you're setting the intention, i.e. the things that you want to do, and that you create the conditions to make your home, to make your workplace as conducive to work and as beautiful as you can possibly have them. So whatever you focus on, don't just go for the style as most people do. Go for the substance and make sure that you're living a life that is as authentic as you can possibly make it at any given time. And on a daily basis, or very, very regularly, ensure that you're getting rid of dead weight, that you're, clearing away the brush, and you've got a clear and open path for you to focus on what is really, truly, and deeply important to you.